Hey everybody, how you guys doing out there today? Hope everybody is staying healthy and safe. Well, it really feels like Christmas in April. Actually, if you look outside the window right now, it is snowing, which here in Pennsylvania, it's been in the 60s and 70s for the last 2 weeks, so who knows. Anyway, this particular shoe that we're going to talk about today did release on Christmas Eve 2020, and it was actually one of the most popular shoes of all last year. Now, this shoe is a shoe where, and please, I really don't want to offend anybody. This is a shoe where I actually love the shoe more than the player that it represents. So why don't we just get into it? The shoe that I picked up is the 2020 Kobe 6 Grinch Protro. Now, again, I don't want to offend anybody, please. I'm not a Kobe Bryant fan. I 100% respect his game. He was a legend. Championships, all-star appearances, MVPs. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's going into the Hall of Fame this year. However, I think it gets to be generational. I grew up in the 80s and was a teenager in the 90s, and my guy will always be MJ. I mean, I just grew up watching MJ. He's my favorite player of all time. He will always be my guy. And when he retired, I stopped watching basketball. So I really didn't watch Kobe or LeBron. It just kind of, for me, ended with MJ. Now, like I said, when Kobe passed away, I think myself, like everybody else, I was truly heartbroken for his wife and his family. Kobe and I are pretty much the same age. I'm 43 and I think he was like 42. And it especially hits you harder when somebody your own age passes away that tragically, and especially the fact that his daughter was with him. It really hit me, and I know that it hit a lot of his true fans out there as well. But why don't we get back to the shoe here? The main reason why I think I love this shoe so much is the fact that I am a huge fan of the Grinch. I have a full Grinch costume for Christmas. As you can see here, I have Grinch t-shirts. After the movie Christmas Vacation, the Jim Carrey Grinch and the old cartoon Grinch are two of my favorite Christmas movies. Like I said, this shoe to me really attracted me because of the Grinch. Now, I did not know that this shoe existed until early in 2020. I happened to see that another shoe tuber here on YouTube picked up the original pair that came out in 2010, 2011, and that was his Grail sneaker. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, that is an absolutely incredible shoe. I think if you watch my channel, I'm not a real big fan of like vibrant, flashy sneakers. Most of the shoes that I really love are MJ's OG pairs from his playing time. But this shoe, I don't know what it is. When I first saw it, I just went nuts over it. I thought it was absolutely incredible. But what I'd like to do now is I'd like to give you guys a closer look on this and see what you guys think. This one here is technically a retro. However, and this is a phrase that Kobe actually coined himself. They call this one a Protro, which basically means it's a retro, but they updated the performance specs on this one. So this one is not the exact same shoe that we got or came out in 2010, 2011. It does have some improvements. So what we'll do is we'll go over that now, and I'll show you guys a closer look at this, and we'll see what you think.
So let's take a look at the box. It would have been cool if Nike did a special box, but oh well. There really isn't much to the box. It's an all-black box with Kobe's logo and signature on the front. Let me show you guys a look at the size tag here. The colorway reads green apple, black, volt, and crimson. Let's take a look at the shoe. Like I mentioned, Nike updated the specs on this shoe to provide better performance compared to its previous model. They made the shoe lower and sleeker and equipped it with a large and flexible Air Zoom turbo unit and foam cushioning. If we take a look at the midsole, I can attest, it seems to have a lot of padding. They also supposedly made the traction on the outsole thicker. Now, I don't have a 2010 model to compare this to, so I'm just going to assume it's true. The outsole consists of a translucent light green rubber with a snakeskin-like pattern that covers all of the forefoot and midfoot. At the midfoot, you can see the carbon fiber plate beneath the translucent rubber. The heel has the same snakeskin-like pattern, but the color is more green apple with Kobe's logo in the crimson red. It also looks like the outsole on the heel may be made of recyclable materials. The upper of the shoe is made primarily of a mesh covered with the snakeskin-like scales, or islands as I heard them called. Now, I mentioned the fly wire earlier. Here you can see that underneath the mesh. This will provide a more snug fit as you tighten the laces. I really like the way they colored the shoe. The primary color around the lace area is Volt, and as it wraps downward toward the heel and midsole, it starts to morph into that green apple color. Really, really cool. If we take a look at the front of the shoe, you can see here it says Phenomenon. Venom coming from Kobe's nickname, the Black Mamba, which is one of the deadliest snakes in the world, and Phenom, which is what he was on the court. As we come up the toe box, the tongue of the shoe is covered in a Volt-colored mesh. Underneath the mesh, you can see a layer of foam in a honeycomb pattern. The top of the tongue is made of neoprene with Kobe's logo in crimson red. That logo really pops off the tongue. The shoe does come with two sets of laces, the Volt color already on the shoe, and a pair of crimson red laces as well. Now, the crimson red laces are the ones Kobe used when he first debuted the shoes back on Christmas Day 2010. I think, however, I'm going to leave them in the Volt laces. Let's talk about the insoles. Here's a picture of what they look like. I didn't want to pull them both out. You can see here it reads, I want a shoe that molds to my foot, and then KB for Kobe Bryant and 24, which was his number. The more you wear these shoes, the more the insoles will mold to your actual foot and give you a better feel. The ankle and heel area of the shoe is extremely padded. It almost feels like a memory foam. Now, I mentioned that I didn't really watch Kobe play, but I do know that he had a lot of ankle and Achilles injuries during his career, so I'm assuming this is the reason for the padding. The medial side of the shoe is not much different from the lateral side, but I will give you guys some B-roll here. As we get to the back of the shoe, the heel counter that wraps around the entire heel seems to be made of a very strong and rigid plastic. You can also see Kobe's signature in the crimson red color as well. They did cut out some of the material from the heel counter, I'm assuming in an attempt to make the shoe lighter. Overall, the Kobe 6 Grinch is a beautiful shoe, very well done by both parties.
All right, guys, so that was a closer look at the 2020 Kobe 6 Grinch Pro Tro. Okay, so now if you saw the video and you want to buy the shoe, this is where it kind of gets a little hairy. So on this past Monday, April 19th, Vanessa Bryant and the Kobe Bryant estate decided not to renew their contract with Nike. So unfortunately, what this does is that these Kobe Nikes are now going to be in great demand, even more than they were before. As soon as I read Vanessa's statement, I immediately went on to, I believe it was Flight Club, and purchased a pair for myself. This is just one shoe that I really wanted to have in my collection, and even though I hate paying resale, I just decided to pull the trigger. I happened to get up the next day and look. The shoe went up $250 overnight from what I paid for it. So unfortunately, that is just the laws of supply and demand. So if you want this shoe for your collection or just to have a piece of Kobe, you can get this shoe on all of the resale sites. So the StockX, the GOAT, the Stadium Goods, all of those places. They are available. eBay, they're all available. They're all out there. There are pairs out there. However, you are going to pay, I'm not going to lie, a very, very hefty price. Now, if you want this shoe, I would buy it ASAP, because the only thing that's going to happen now is these shoes are going to continue to go up and up and up. The 2010 version of this shoe, before these were announced that they were coming out, was selling for over $1,000 last year on StockX. So I can only imagine if this is the last we're ever going to see of a Nike-Kobe relationship or shoe, I can only imagine how much these are going to keep going up and up and up. And it's not just for these, it's going to be for all Kobe Bryant shoes. Now, I happen to think that this one, at least in my opinion, it seems that this is probably the most sought after colorway out of all the Kobe's. But I have seen, just checking some other Kobe's, all of the prices have gone up. So unfortunately, that's just what you're going to have to deal with. Now, there is one other thing you can do, and this is a gamble, but just last week for Mamba Day, Nike did release some more of these. However, they were in a draw. So basically, you'd go on the Nike, you put your entry in, and it's the luck of the draw. I would think that they probably have more pairs of these sitting in their different warehouses. So the contract isn't over until the end of 2021. So I'm going to assume that as the year goes on, I believe that there's a second Mamba Day, and I think it's in August. I believe that as this year goes on, you probably will see Nike re-release these. But again, it's probably going to be on a draw. So that's basically like playing the lottery. And I would think that the odds of picking one of these up on the draw is probably pretty slim. So if you really, really want this shoe, I would buy it now. After the announcement on Monday, the prices have they did go up, but they kind of stopped. So right now, depending on your size, these are going for, and I'm sorry to tell you this, but these are going for somewhere between $600 and $700. So it really sucks. I know they retailed for $180, and the fact that they're now $600-700, unfortunately, it just is what it is with sneakers today. So it's really going to be up to you and how you want to spend your money and that. But I really do not believe that Vanessa Bryant and the Kobe estate are going to re-sign with Nike. Before he passed away, Kobe was doing a lot of trademarking on logos and signatures. So I have a feeling that what they're going to end up doing is probably branching off and doing their own shoe line and clothing line. So like I said, it's your call at the end of the day. In the comment section, let me know what you guys think of the Kobe 6 Grinch. Is this the most popular colorway of any of the Kobe's that ever came out? I also really, really like the Kobe 5 Bruce Lee, the black and gold one. I think that one's really cool, but that one is also skyrocketed in price as well. But anyway, I'd like to thank you guys a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and take care.